Super Cool Radio! As everyone can see, we have 4 people on our screen for this episode of Super Cool Radio. The main reason this is the 2-year anniversary of Super Cool Radio. Yes.
Yay! Woo!
Woo!
And for this show, we got a panel going on with some great guests we've had for the last 2 seasons, and they're going to flip the script on me a little bit. They're going to interview me, because I am very interesting and important, of course. So, and we're going to start off. I'll introduce the person up top next to me. He is the guitarist and singer for South Bend rock band Hourglass. Please give it up for Andrew.
Thank you very much.
From Michigan, he is the drummer for Two-Face Wilson, also part of Diecast Romance, his solo project he's got going on. Please welcome Bryan Knickerbocker.
Yeah!
Representing the great country of Canada. She released a killer debut single entitled All My Lives and is currently working on some more great music. This show was actually her idea. Please give it up for Apricity.
Woo!
And of course,
Yay.
everyone that should know me, the show is all about me. I am Matthew Thomas with Super Cool Radio, and this is the 2-year anniversary show. All my stuff is done. So, let's start. Let's kick this off.
Yay, Matthew. Yay. With your non-alcoholic, alcoholic-looking beverage.
Soda.
Some great
soda.
Cherries. If
Might as well go for a soda.
there we go.
Kim
Preacher
Mitchell.
Cherry Cola.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kim
yeah.
Mitchell. Yeah. My favorite Canadian.
I'm your favorite Canadian now.
Okay, yeah, Kim Mitchell's my second favorite.
Hey.
Hey,
Okay, we're good.
listen, two of my best friends are Canadian. One of them's from Nova Scotia, and the other one's from London, Ontario. So,
Ah,
got-
I'm close to London, Ontario. Not that
Okay.
far. Yeah.
see, I know things.
Because you're from Wisconsin. You know things.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And I never took geography, so I'm not really that great with stuff. So I know where Indiana is because I live there.
Canada's the country south of us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Stand on your head and walk straight down. So thank you for having us all on here, Matthew. This is a really cool idea, man.
Yeah, I can't take full credit. Me and Frisk, we talked about this, probably beginning of the year, I think. We talked about doing something like this.
We did. Right after Christmas, I said, wouldn't it be neat to interview the interviewer? So, here we are.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah, this is going to be either really fun or disaster or a PR nightmare. I haven't decided which one yet.
I hope
So-
you studied for this.
Matthew.
Probably not.
It's all geography.
Oh,
Yes.
no. Oh, that's bad.
You know that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? This is going to be that.
Oh, no. I was never good. If Tony Hawk can't pass, I don't think I can.
It's actually called Are You Smarter Than a Musician?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's not hard to be.
No, I was going to say I'm out. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer. I barely qualify as a musician.
No comment.
Oh, no. We need drums in our life.
Absolutely.
That is the backbone of the band, though. You have to keep the beat somehow.
Yep.
It's true.
Exactly.
So, 2 years, Matthew.
Yeah.
How did you get started doing this stuff? What made you decide you want to talk to idiots like us? Well, me. They're smart, probably. At least Apricity.
Actually, pretty funny. Actually, a South Bend connection. I know Andrew will understand.
I actually applied for the Bear just to be like a roadie, like just to do basic entry level stuff. And I didn't hear back, and so I applied for like another position there. I never heard back. I applied to them 4 times. Just kind of, I like to somehow be involved in music. I was a very big fan of music, and I wanted to promote music that you don't really hear too much on the radio. I know the Bear here in South Bend, if it's not major mainstream music, you're probably not going to hear anything outside of that. So I applied to them, and I never heard back. So I was like, all right, I'll just start my own radio station because it can't be that hard. And
Famous last words.
yeah, so just going into that, I was like, I'll just start an internet radio station. Not as hard as I thought it would be, except then you'd have to keep coming up with new content every day, and that's what the kind of the eventual problem was. That's kind of I switched formats. But starting off, it was really because I was mad at the Bear, and I wanted to have my own radio show.
It's pretty neat. So,
Yeah.
Matthew, what has been your biggest obstacle putting this together?
Just Super Cool Radio in general, or this show?
Super Cool Radio in
Okay.
general, putting your show together.
This show,
Yeah, we know
this
this
show,
show.
this show
Okay.
in itself was a challenge. Boy, oh boy.
In general, starting off, it was just producing the shows because I couldn't do it live because I still had to work. So I'd have to pre-record the shows. So getting all the shows laid out, make sure I'm not repeating songs, make sure I'm not, saying the same stuff, keeping it interesting. That was the hardest part, and also the money because I wasn't making any money when I was doing my radio show because the ads were just covering the licensing. So I didn't make anything. So now I have a better system in place where it helps build instead of just putting money into something that I can't get out of. But I would say now with the videos and the shows and stuff, it's just scheduling really. When is a good time to interview this person? When can I get the show out? And I always try to do stuff ahead of time. I used to announce stuff and then try to put it together, and that was a bad idea. A lot of stress. So now I try to do shows and then announce it and then upload it and then have that system in place, and it's going a lot better.
So the first show, like tell everybody about how it all came together and kind of what your mindset was in on that day that you knew you were going to start this whole get the actual ball rolling with content.
So in March of 2019, I just had music up on there. I would just like uploading music and it would play. Then I started, I did like a block where I would like only talk at the beginning and the end of the hour. And then I went to my full show in April. And that's where, I remember the song I ended with was Misery Business by Paramore. I don't remember I started off with Newfound Glory. Understatement.
Okay.
And I threw in some like Alice Cooper, Iggy Pop. I don't exactly remember every song I had on there, but it was definitely very exciting, especially the place I worked at. My friend, a very big fan of like local music, and obviously I'm good friends with him. So he put it on his tablet, and like it was playing throughout the shop. And I was like, that is awesome. I get to hear myself, and actually someone else who's actually a fan of my show. Even just by just me telling him this is the first ever show. He didn't have any kind of taste of it until I dropped that first show.
Cool.
So yeah, and then my first interview. I know it's not the question, but I want to go into it anyway.
That was going to be my question.
Oh, good. See, I got telepathic over here.
Yeah.
My first interview was with my friends Elsie Banks. I saw them a few months before at the Music Factory, and I saw that they were coming back in January. So I saw them in November with Stitched Up Heart Kaleido. Killer show. First time seeing them, first time actually listening to the music. And they rock. It was a great show. So I talked to Aaron for a little bit after the show, and we kind of hit it off. We were great, talking about music, and she's like, yeah, I told her like what I do, and she's like, yeah, just any kind of music you want to feature, go for it. Because I already bought the CDs, so
She's already paid for the CD, so she was really cool about it. And then I hit her up like a few weeks later after she wanted to do an interview, and I met them in the RV before the show, and it was like a terrible ice storm that day, and
I was playing that show.
Yeah, so you opened.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Crappy weather, terrible weather. But the interview went really well. Very happy with it. They were really cool. I think it was like a half hour. I think it was about a half hour. And it was a lot of fun just hanging out with them. And on my way home, I slid off the road. Luckily, I got back on the road because of the ice. And I went on my merry way. So that was a very interesting time.
Their drummer, Apricity, he's the one that's from London, Ontario that I was talking about.
Okay.
Yep. He's Darren Curtis, really. They're all great people. I love all of them to death. Yeah. Definitely some of the most down-to-earth people.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun and really good musicians, and I really like working with them.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you normally go about getting people to be on the show? Is it like that, where you go see them and you talk to them afterwards? Or do you usually hit them up on Facebook or something? Like, how do you get them to join you on the show?
It depends. I got a few different ways of doing it. First, if I happen to see them live at a show and talk to them, usually I make connection, and then sometime maybe later I'll hit them up for an interview. Like, hey, remember me? Or sometimes we do it, day of, like, yeah, I'll interview you. Just send me over the details or whatever. Sometimes I just cold call, or well, not call, but cold message people. Be like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I would like to interview you, and I kind of make myself sound nice and all that stuff. And
sound nice.
Everything's fine, I swear.
Professional.
So I make everything sound very professional.
Yeah.
My rate with kind of cold messaging people isn't that great. Usually I don't get, don't hear back. But sometimes I do. I was very surprised when September morning agreed to do an interview, so I was very surprised when that happened.
That's
I remember
awesome.
I was the one that messaged you.
Yes.
So that probably just messed you up.
A lot of people I know, Christy, she messaged me. Bryan messaged me. I know you, so that was different. But yeah, a lot of people message me, and usually if you message me, I try to bump you up in the schedule. Be like, yeah, we can do it, in like a few weeks, or depending on what my schedule is. Sometimes I have an opening that works out perfectly, like a few interviews coming up. It was just I have an opening, and it's a perfect time to do it. So it really just depends. I have a lot of different ways of doing things, but a lot of the interviews lately, it's because people. They messaged me or hit me up or somehow found me.
That's good. So, Matthew, if you could have anybody on your show to interview, who would it be?
I feel like people already kind of know this answer because of how much I've mentioned this in either an interview. I think you already know who I'm thinking. Alice Cooper. I
was going to say Alice Cooper.
I love his music. I have all of his albums at least that he remembers making. And,
right. The ones he doesn't remember aren't worth having.
no, they don't count. That was
except my brother has them probably.
Oh, they don't exist. That was Malice Cooper, not Alice Cooper. So I would say if I somehow were able to get an interview with Alice Cooper digitally in person, however, that would probably be like I've made it. I could if I had to retire after that interview, I'd be like, I'm good. I've reached my pinnacle, my goal. I have a lot of goals, but that's like the highest goal out there. If I can interview Alice Cooper, sign me up.
Right off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Yep.
He seems like he'd be a fun person to interview too.
I've seen interviews with him. He honestly is a lot of fun, and he
doesn't give the same interview twice.
Yeah. He honestly he does a lot of variety of stuff, even with the music too. He does so many different things that there's so much to talk about, and that one interview probably wouldn't even cover everything.
I can see Matthew nerding out and messaging and be like, "Hey, can you wear the makeup?"
He does. A lot of interviews he does, and
do me a solid, bro.
In the late '90s, he had a long gap between new music.
That's because he was practicing golfing, and he almost went to the PGA Tour.
Wow.
Almost.
He's really good. The reason he comes to this area every so often is because he likes the Notre Dame golf course. That's the reason he comes to the Morris every few years. Yeah.
It's like the only thing to like about Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's like one of his favorite courses. I heard.
Yeah, they had the PGA men's, I think, or seniors, PGA seniors tournament in South Bend. So yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He is a senior now. He could get in there.
Yeah, but
he's been a senior.
I mean, he's what, 70 something?
Some, yeah.
72. Yeah. I mean, and he said he would have done it in full makeup. He would have had the snake.
That would have been awesome.
I kind of wish that would have happened, but I mean, then he released "Brutal Planet," one of my favorite albums in 2000. So I mean, you get what you get.
Have you ever tried to get any members of his band on the show?
I did email Nita Strauss. Never heard back, but that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, anyone in Alice Cooper, I would love to interview. Ryan Roxy, Tommy Hendrickson, Glenn Fowle, Nita Strauss, anyone. Don't you have
an in with Chuck Garrick though? Don't you know somebody in one of his bands?
Man, okay. Who wants a good story? Who wants a good
just
story?
Lit up.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah.
This actually connects to my first interview. I'll tell you how.
Okay, good question then.
First interview. On my way home, slid off the ice, all that stuff. But then the next day, I got like a nasty nosebleed, and I was like, "Oh, all right, not bad." It stopped. I was good. But then a few days later, like that Wednesday, right before I was going to upload my interview for the show, I got a really bad nosebleed, and it took longer to stop. So then I finally got to stop, and I went to bed, and then into the night, it just kept bleeding when it stopped. So I wound up going to the ER because I'm on my parents' insurance. That's pretty nice.
Yes, it is.
So I hit the deductible right away. And so I got to the ER. And the funny thing, if you have a nosebleed, the doctor, they give you cocaine to numb your nose. I'm not kidding.
Yes, they do. That's a true story. Yeah.
I should break my nose. No.
I had the same thought. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this.
And the next, I went to my employer after I went to the ER to hand him the note that he can't drug test me because I'll test positive. Okay. So that was an interesting thing. He just looked at him and said, okay. So he wasn't even going to ask or anything. He was like, all right, just go. And then I couldn't work for the next few days. So anyway. So Bisto Blanco is Chuck Garrick, the bassist for Alice Cooper, and Calico Cooper, Alice Cooper's daughter. I hit them up for an interview, and I didn't hear back because they were supposed to have a show in Illinois, March 13th or 12th, March 12th, and so I didn't hear back for the longest time, and my nosebleeds kept getting worse and worse. So I actually saw a doctor, and they said you need surgery to correct this, or you're just going to keep having nosebleeds. So, and stupid me, I put it off for a little bit. I said, it's nosebleeds, it's whatever. So I went to lift a heavy Hummer tire, and I did fine. I did the work and everything. And I lift like this tiny Ford Focus tire, and my nose just starts gushing everywhere. And my employer comes up to me, and he goes, "Get that fixed." I said, okay. He's like, "I don't want you bleeding everywhere, so get it fixed." So I was like, all right. So I made the appointment for March 12th. So I was like, I didn't buy the tickets for the show. I haven't heard back, all that stuff. So March 11th, I got an email from their press person. They said, hey, if you want that interview, you can still have it. And I go, well, that's fantastic. I have surgery that day. So I explained my situation and stuff. And they said, oh, so sorry to hear about that. So maybe I might have to revisit that. I was hoping, then obviously lockdown, quarantine, all that stuff happened. So, so I could have interviewed Chuck Garrick and Calico Cooper, but nosebleeds.
Now, Alice Cooper has a son that's in a band, right?
Does he?
Does he?
Maybe he's got 4 kids.
I think because Alec, bass player of Hourglass, my brother, I guess they're coming to somewhere around here sometime this year. He's like, "That's Alice Cooper's son. We gotta go." I was like, "Okay."
Maybe he'll be there.
Yeah.
Hello,
Bring your dad to work day.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. So you've done how many episodes have you done now?
At least over 100. I got 108 videos on YouTube, and some interviews are only on my podcast channel. So I'm probably would say about 110, 111.
So off the top of your head, maybe give us like 3 moments from like the longevity of this entire thing, like some cool, like your top 3 cool moments you can think of off the top of your head.
All right. Not in any particular order because this is off the top of my head.
Just any 3.
One that comes to mind is actually about you, Bryan. When you said you got an endorsement deal because the person saw my show.
Yep.
Honestly, it's one of my proudest moments. Just because I started this to help musicians and to promote music, and you get an endorsement deal because someone actually watched my video. That just blows my mind.
Yep. No nuts cymbal sleeves. Yep. He messaged me about an hour after the show when it went live on YouTube, and I had been using his stuff for a couple of years, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to endorse us officially and work out a deal, just send me all your information." And it was directly because of, he's like, "I watched the show, so," and I thank you very much for that. That was very helpful.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my proudest moments for Super Cool Radio, honestly. Second one, honestly, the skits of Yuri, some of my fun stuff says we don't script any of that. We don't have a script. Like I have a
Really?
script in my interview. Yeah, it is all unscripted. So you can kind of see it sometimes because sometimes I have to laugh because it's just of the insanity. And
Yeah.
I have so many bloopers that I have not released of just some insane stuff. And
Well, now you have to.
Yeah, you should for the 2-year anniversary special.
Now you
Blooper
have
reel.
to.
I got a few of
Yeah.
them. I gotta find them. They're in a file somewhere. I will find them. But yeah, some of that stuff is just it's all unscripted. It's so much fun doing that stuff, and there's probably some more stuff in the works. So it's not interview related, not music related, but just the fun of just making videos. I know those are some of unfortunately lower views I've noticed for that stuff, but I just have fun doing it. So if anyone gets a kick out of it, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Entertainment. That's what we're here for.
Exactly, that's why we're all here. And then I would say for third moment that comes to mind, I think being an official partner with DI Records. Actually, him Dakota messaging me and being like, "Hey, do you want to be an official partner?" And it's just interview some bands for our roster, promote some music, which is pretty much what I was already doing that anyway. So to actually be recognized as an official partner by a record label, very cool moment for me. I didn't really think anything possible like that when I first started this. Of all the stuff that's I've done and the connections I've made, to actually have someone kind of recognize that, I think that is definitely very cool, and I'm very happy to be partners with DI Records. So, cheap plug, please check them out. They got a lot of great bands signed to them.
That's great. So, Matthew, if you had to give somebody advice that wanted to start up and do something similar, what would that advice be?
A few things. Definitely prepare for the interviews. There's some I took on very short notice in season 1, and that's why I don't do that.
Oh.
I'll get to that one in a second.
It was good though.
It was fun. I'll get to that in a second. I would say, yeah, definitely prepare for the interviews. Know who you're going to talk to. I usually ask people before, like, do you want the question? Because some people don't, and that's totally fine with me, but I'm going to be prepared for myself. So definitely do your research on who you're going to interview. Make sure you have the equipment set up. Some interviews, like my earlier ones, the quality is not there. So make sure you always got obviously a web camera like we all have, and video editing skills that just in case there is some issues that you can correct it. Definitely, I would say have fun. I think I was a little too rigid with the first season, so definitely just have fun, and you make sure you keep the conversation going because it's not on the person being interviewed; it's on the person giving the interview to progress the situation and get the good interview. You gotta make them look good. I've seen a lot of interviews where the person just tries to put themselves over, and it's really not the point of doing the interview. So with everyone I interview, I try to make sure that I put the person over. If they have anything upcoming, try to make sure you promote that, and just ask behind the scenes of the music. I mean, that's usually what my go-to is. I try to keep everything on point. I don't try to go off on too much crazy, silly stuff. I've seen in a lot of interviews. So I would say just keep it on point, or at least if you have a good story that you can somehow work that in, but usually stick on point with music or something that they're involved in.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Good point.
Yeah, last thing, scheduling. Make sure, I was talking to an upcoming podcaster, Zach of Nerds Order Music, great dude, and he asked me about scheduling. Because he said he did like 9 interviews in a week, and I've never done 9 interviews a week. That's a lot to undertake. I'm surprised he did it. I mean, he did very good, but he said it was very exhausting, and I believe it. So make sure I usually try to plan it out. I have notes of like when I have upcoming interviews. I always write like what service I'm going to be using because sometimes it's StreamYard as we're using or Skype or phone or something. And I always just try to have my notes ready, but. Definitely make sure there's no scheduling. I know I've almost double booked a few things. I'm glad I keep notes of when my schedule is and when my show and all my shows and all that. So definitely make sure you know scheduling.
And then this whole debacle that we had, just getting this one show figured out.
But we're here. We are. Oh, so
18th time's a charm.
I think it was only 6.
Yeah.
Only 6.
It's hard when you're trying to schedule a group of people together, right? So that's definitely a challenging.
That's why this is the first one. And yes, it is hard.
But it won't be the last.
I definitely do this again sometime. But going back to Andrew, so my first and currently only interview without a net. I will get to. There might be a second one coming up. I will get to that.
Nice.
He messaged me. I think your show was Saturday at 5 Star. I want to say. I think it was Saturday.
We had. I think it was Friday or a Sunday. I don't remember.
It was Sunday. I know I didn't work, so it was. Or if I did, it was okay. So yeah, Sunday.
Sunday.
I think you hit me up Friday. I think it was a Friday. Yeah, it was like Friday. And I already had my week kind of that planned out, but I was like, yeah, local band. I was friends, friends with Garrett, who was friends with you guys. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And this is what happens when you watch way too much stand-up comedy at 2 a.m. It was stand-up without a net. I watched Robin Williams. He delivered a fantastic interview, but the stand-up set. But the premise was that they would give you cards, and you're supposed to come up with your set on the fly. So it's like, oh, that is a totally cool idea. I should do this. So I told Andrew the idea, and he's like, yeah, let's go for it. It was a 13-minute interview. I thought it went pretty good.
I thought it was good.
But I definitely like being more prepared. Definitely. I like my net. I will say in about 2 weeks, well, actually a week after this airs, there will be a second interview without a net, and we'll see how much I've improved in a year.
Nice.
Only up from here or there.
Yep.
You can only go up or down or sideways.
So speaking of questions, so you said you do research when you know you're going to be talking to somebody, usually, unless it's without a net. How do you come up with your questions? Like, do you try to avoid questions that they get asked regularly, or do you, I don't know, how do you formulate those?
I usually try to start off with First question is usually a fun question. I try to vary it now with season 2. Usually it's if you can only listen to one band, who would it be? Or like,
Yeah, I think you asked us that last time.
yeah,
Mine was what's one album that everybody should listen to once in their life all the way through.
Yes.
yes.
That's a good one.
I try to vary it with a question that's music related, but not directly related to them. That kind of breaks the ice. And then the rest is how they get into music, or if they have anything upcoming, like their new album, how is it writing and recording the new album, influences. Actually, I haven't asked influences in a while. But usually, if they have something upcoming, I try to promote that. If they have a show upcoming or an album upcoming, I try to promote that. If I have an in with somebody who knows them pretty well, I sometimes ask them if they have anything. That actually, I was surprised one step from falling with some information I got, so that was pretty cool. But usually I get some stuff from the Facebook page or Instagram. Usually any social media, I try to find some stuff on. If they've done any past interviews, I try to listen to them or watch them just to see their mannerisms, see how they respond to questions. Then at least I have a good feel. If they give long answers, that's cool. If they give short answers, I usually try to come up with more questions just in case. And some interviews, like I've gotten for like 2 questions, and we've talked for like almost an hour. So it really just depends.
Jeez.
So yeah, like the Raven Black interview from last season, I think it was hour 10, and I actually had to cut it off because we had another interview in like at 9 o'clock, and we started this at like 7:30. So I didn't expect to go that long. It was great. It was a lot of fun, and I was like, I saw the time, and I was like, okay, well, she's got another interview. We got to get going.
So this is year 2. What we do an anniversary show 365 days from today. What do you want to have accomplished in the next year of this show?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
I didn't even prepare that.
That's really good. I would say, normal stuff, world domination, colonizing Mars, stuff like that. Outside of that, I definitely, I want my title scenes from intros to be really cool, and I'm really starting to work on editing those together. So I want the title scenes to be memorable. I want my questions to be on point and good. If I can interview some more established bands that I'm trying to currently work on, that would be really cool. But also, there's going to be more skits, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'd say in a year, I want more merch, so I'm working on that as well, and maybe a more consistent radio show. We'll see. We'll see about that part. That is a lot to put together. But yeah, that is kind of going with it right now. But there's a few bands that I have that I'm close to working on, so I'm trying to get that worked out too, and also some cool merch. So.
Super cool merch.
Super cool.
That's
merch.
right.
Super cool.
TM.
Yes. Yeah, you might want to look into that too. Actually, trade begins
That's
speaking of which,
something that's actually been on my radar to do is to get that done. Because if Hourglass can get their stuff put
Yeah, I copyrighted all of our stuff.
Yeah, if they can do it, I think I should too.
Doesn't mean it was good.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dang.
It's a joke.
Okay.
Did you have Better Call Saul help you out?
I have another question.
Okay.
So some of your skits were wrestling related.
Yeah.
How do you balance? Because most of what you do is music, but you have done some wrestling stuff. So how do you balance that? How do you figure out how you're gonna include that other interest of yours with your main focus, which is music?
I try to branch out a little bit. So it's local South Bend wrestling, so I think there's already connection that I'm a South Bend based radio show. I interview people from all over the world, but I only do it. Can't do it all the time, obviously, because they only run a show about every 4 to 6 weeks, so it's
Right.
enough time in between to have it have an interview and stuff. There's some cool things in the works with that actually that I hope come together. But it's really, I just do it sparingly. My main focus is musicians, but I occasionally like to throw in some wacky stuff and some stuff that, looking back, was a lot of fun and could have ended poorly, but didn't. So that's always good. But it's just, the skits are kind of just whenever I feel like it. I feel like people tune in for the interviews, is great, but also I'm the main constant with everything. So I hope people tune in for me, maybe a small portion, hopefully, because they like me, I would hope.
I like the skits. I think they're funny. I always watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those turn out really well, especially for not planning them and just kind of going with a rough idea. I think they turn out very well.
For those, do you have like an idea when you get started on it, or do you just kind of like?
Yeah, I usually talk to Yuri beforehand about what we're gonna do. There's usually running gags in there, so that's pretty cool. We have very good chemistry for working together. So we kind of just bounce off each other when we do it live. Like, we have an idea, like our top 4 AC/DC albums. We talked about, that's probably the most we actually prepared for a skit, because we talked about which albums we were going to pick. We tried not to double pick albums because we already talked about each one. So we tried to at least have that planned out. But the rest of the stuff and the inclusion of another person, B.G. Mancini, was that was just on the day of. We just thought of doing that, and yeah. So that's how that one came together. But usually we have a rough idea. We don't script anything because that's boring.
Right. I think the spontaneity is what's cool about it. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, and you see me laughing quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's always a lot of fun with those skits, and maybe you might see BG Mancini more. We'll see. He does like to do his bad guy stuff. So he's not around all the time.
Bring him out.
Bad guy stuff.
I mean, he's a space traveling bad guy. That's what he says. I mean, does stuff like that. I guess I don't know exactly what he does. I don't know him personally.
Would you be brave enough? Would you be brave enough to do a live show, a live interview on air?
Yeah, actually, there's some talks, doing a few things like that.
Yep.
Nothing has come together yet. But yes, I actually have this capability with this lovely StreamYard right here to do that to my YouTube channel. So yes, actually, and there might be a few things in the works. So yes, I'm totally for it. I'm definitely very well prepared for that interview. Definitely get a lot of rest. Definitely drink some Spreacher cherry cola.
We could have done this.
Yeah, but I could have set up a cool intro for it. See, that's my only problem with I love doing. I mean, I have no problem doing live, but I have so cool intros that I've made for these, for like all these shows that it's like I don't get that feature because it's live. You just kind of go live. So that's my only complaint about it. But I'm working on a few live performances, we'll say. So
that's great.
So you mentioned your first interview with LC Binks, right? You went to their show basically, and that's how you met them all.
Yeah.
So you are involved in going to shows with the people you have on.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a couple of times you've kind of co-hosted different events and sort of helped promote different things. Do you plan on doing more of that in the future? Do you plan on doing some of that just by yourself? How much of that do you see tagged along with Super Cool Radio?
Yes, actually, yes. So I've co-hosted a lot of shows in the South Bend area, even a few in Angola. So yes, I do that quite a bit, mostly just more exposure for the bands and stuff. I have the idea. I'm not this year, because I don't think it's the right year to do it. Maybe 2022. But yes, I would love to host a show, bring some of my friends along, feature some great music. I already got the name. It's gonna be Super Cool Fest. So I'm hoping.
Better trademark that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that before I air this.
Yeah, good.
If anyone steals that,
If you don't, Andrew's gonna do it and sell it to you.
Yeah. I learned from Kiss, so.
My favorite band.
Yeah.
He did a great Facebook interaction when he said he copyrighted his songs, and I said, "Man, that was my idea to make it big." And then I forgot what you said you were gonna send your lawyer after me. And then I said, "I'm not a crook," and I gave the Richard Nixon.
I'm not
and then sign off, and then in the helicopter. So I was like, that was one of my favorite Facebook with somebody, because I love messing with people anyway. But yeah,
well, he said he wasn't a crook.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be if I'm not.
Yeah.
Just like my one friend Jordan asked if he's like, if anyone wants to fight me, tell me. So I was like, yo, you want to go? And he's like, you want to fight? I go, yeah, I want to fight. He's like, where and when? I said, Wendy's parking lot at 6 p.m. Be there.
He wasn't there.
Wasn't there. I got my 4 for 4, and he wasn't there.
At least you got your 4 for 4.
Right, yeah, hey.
I mean, that's a great deal, honestly.
Yeah.
Should have brought 4 for 4 tonight. There's 4 of us. Could add 4 for 4.
Oh,
yeah, Matthew.
Man.
That,
built-in marketing. Come on now.
I didn't say anything about a combination.
Tomorrow we find out Wendy's sponsors the podcast.
Hey, if Wendy's watching, I will speak very nice things about you. I love your 4 for 4 deal.
So I want to ask you the same question that you asked me. Okay. What is one album that every person should listen to front to back in their life?
Ooh, I would go with. Good question, because I've never really thought about that one.
Yeah.
I don't really
sucks
think
being
about
on the other end of the sword sometimes, huh?
It does. All right. I got a few that come to mind, but if I had to pick one that people should listen to in a lifetime, Post-Pop Depression by Iggy Pop. I love that album. It's got the like garage rock vibes to it. It's a pretty I mean, it still has Iggy Pop flair to it, but it's more of a mellow album. And I've been listening to it like a lot lately. I find it very relaxing. But that's good. It's just good rock music with him and Josh and Queens of Stone Age. Good stuff. So Post-Pop Depression, Iggy Pop, that is my answer. Final answer.
Yo.
When did that come out?
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will check it out.
I was going to say, I think I'm going to too.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed, so that sounds cool.
Put it in my Spotify for work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've never associated Iggy Pop with calm, so I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it still rocks, but it's pretty it's more mellow compared to his like punk music and metal music and all of his later, all of his albums before Post-Pop Depression. Yeah,
Josh, Lou Reed Metallica did that fucking abomination of an album, so I guess anything's possible nowadays.
Josh probably got him really high before they wrote everything.
I'm sure.
You got some insider knowledge over there, Andrew?
What'd you say?
You got some insider knowledge over there?
No.
I was the dealer.
Did you trademark that? Did you trademark that, Andrew?
Let me make a note of it really quick.
Also, I heard Hourglass is coming out with a rap album pretty soon too, right?
Yeah, that's the third one. We gotta trick everybody with the first full length first, and then we'll do the rap full length.
Do what Chickenfoot did. Come out with Hourglass 1 and then skip straight to Hourglass 3.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And then do Hourglass 2 third.
Yes, see, there you go. Or should I just jump to 5 and just really like what happened to the other ones?
This one really sounded like a 5.
This one goes to 11.
Is that what's gonna happen with Hourglass? You're just gonna name stuff how you feel?
It goes to 11.
There you go.
Nice.
I got the guitar.
There you go.
Let's go.
Does it have the taggers on it?
Nope. Nope. I bought it used for $120. Left-handed 7-string, so.
Nice.
Being left-handed, my options are quite limited. I saw it and I was like,
I bet.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
New diecast romance music on this thing right here. Got it tuned
Good
to
work
drop.
tool.
Got it tuned to drop. I'm a drummer. I don't know. I can barely do 6 strings. I don't need the 7.
We just picked up with 6. I mean, come on.
I just know how to write good enough to where I can send it to my guitar players and they can make it sound like I wanted it to sound.
There you go.
Make this sound better, please.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, being left-handed does kind of suck. Like I'm left-handed for golfing, and it's very hard to find a golf club set. That's
Left-hand clubs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sucks.
Yeah, TJ, our drummer, is left-handed, so
Nice. Does he actually play left-handed?
he does.
Yes.
Yeah. I tried to set up our stuff in the basement the first time he came over. I'm like, I don't even know. I can set it up right-handed, but left-handed, it's like starting like you've never seen a drum set before. I don't know what to do.
I want to do a show with you guys just for the simple fact of not being the only left-handed drummer, or left-handed there's this one drunk. Sorry, I don't mean to hijack the show, but there's this one
That's
drunk
right.
old drunk guy that came up to me and he shakes my hand after the set and he goes, "Ian fucking Pice." I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "He was left-handed." And I'm like, "Yes, he was." And he goes, "That's awesome." And then he walked away and I'm like, okay, this was fun. I'm a little afraid now.
Have you ever heard a bad left-handed drummer though? I don't think I have. I think they're all
No.
good.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, hey.
Back on point. Anyone else got any questions for me that I can answer? Or are we good?
Who's next?
Actually, I want to ask you
Sure.
if you could change anything that you've done in the last year, especially during COVID, what would it be?
I mean, overall, I'm happy with my position that I am right now. I think definitely when I did go to shows, I wish I was I was a little bit more shy. So like 2019 and early 20, I wish I would have passed out more business cards and talked to people. I think that is a very big thing. And then when there is no shows, there is no people to talk to, face to face when you meet them. So I think I missed a few opportunities to grow my audience a little bit with just not talking to people as much, or even just like everyone's there to see music, so you already kind of have time on ground anyway, as I found out. So definitely talking to people, I think, just to try to grow and meet people, I think is definitely something I wish I would have done more. I think I'm better at it now, especially with doing all these interviews and stuff. I'm better with just talking to people, but starting off, not as much. So definitely, I'd say that. And finding someone, like I love my logo. Trish Tivaldi of LC Binks designed this logo. I love it. I wish I would have got a more professional logo sooner instead of trying it myself, because I was not good with it. So looking professional. I'm still working on trying to get some stuff done to make my all my pages look professional, but definitely having a logo is a definite need, and not just something, oh, I could do it myself, because I can't.
But you see that now, and I think that especially in the past year for everybody, I think we've all had time to look back and reflect during this time of COVID and lockdowns about things that we could have changed or things we should have done, and then you don't get a chance because you're at home, you can't do anything, you can't see anything. But those are things that once hopefully the world gets a little better, as it seems to be, we have a better perspective. I think it's just given us a better outlook and a better focus as well. So I don't think it's all bad.
No, definitely. You kind of cherish the stuff that you don't have. I become more appreciative of when you do have it. I've definitely found that out. And being able to talk to people more, definitely something I miss. You didn't think I would miss it as much because I'm kind of a shy person. So seeing that not happening definitely changes your perspective.
Yeah,
So I agree.
You were definitely pretty social at the show on Friday. I could tell you were talking to people and hanging out with Dave Hurley.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's helped me out a lot. Helped me set up the Crash Karma interview. So definitely very cool guy. I met Rick Miles. I don't know if you know who. Yeah.
Rick Miles. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, I was kind of talking to people, not as much. But then he's like, yeah, we should talk to this person, this person. I was like, okay, sure, might as well. So
Rick knows everybody.
yeah, I found out Jeff Harris was originally from South Bend, so that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. First time
Yeah.
talking to him. So yeah, I do try to talk to people. I handed out almost all my business cards that day, so I thought that was pretty cool. And so yeah, over that weekend, I think I got a bump of like 13 to 15 likes on my page because of between that and my Super Show. So I was very happy. Almost at 1,500 likes. I am like 20 away, so please help me.
Nice.
Please. So what's next?
For Super Cool Radio,
Yeah, what's next?
putting out killer interviews, featuring killer music from all my friends, and working on better scheduling and stuff. I'm really trying to promote stuff more that people see it. Not only do I put all the effort into interview the person and putting it together, I want people to see it. So definitely I'm working on promotion. I'm actually taking social media marketing classes right now, so to help me with that. Just started the Twitter account, so if anyone's new to Twitter, follow me on there for all the kind of updates and fun stuff I do. And just kind of continue on the path, but trying to promote my audience more, show them more music, and hopefully, even if one person becomes a fan of the band I interviewed, I'll consider it a success. But I definitely want more people. The people I interview, I like their music, or I'm friends with them, or both, preferably both. So I'm trying to promote their music and get them fans at the same time. So for right now, I do have an interview
That's
without
great.
a net coming up very soon. So we'll see how I do, Andrew. And
Should be good.
And got an interview with Star Crystal coming up soon. They're out of the Ukraine, very cool band. So I'm looking forward to interviewing them.
Dang, going all the way over another country. There you go. Whole other continent.
Super cool worldwide.
Oh, when I say world domination, I mean it.
Yeah.
That's the name. That's the name of your corporation right there. Super cool
There you go.
worldwide.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say it. You trademark it.
No, I'm gonna let Matthew have that one.
Andrew. We live in the same city. I will find you.
Good luck.
So yeah, so that's the stuff coming up very soon. My goal is to eventually meet everyone in person who I've interviewed. So hopefully that will happen eventually. I might need a passport for a few of them. So we'll see.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's next for Super Cool Radio. And we got time. I'll take one or two more, depending on, or if we're good.
You have 2 years now worth of content. What is the most memorable moment for you from the whole show?
I would say, honestly, my second interview with Reality Suite, mostly because they were just so much fun, and we had a lot of callbacks from the first interview I kind of messed up on that I was not happy with. That's why I booked the interview for that, their second interview pretty quickly because I wanted to correct everything. And that was a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, a lot of Alice Cooper references, which I'm always a fan of. And honestly, one of my favorite interviews. If anyone's looking for a laugh, definitely check that one out. But I have so many. Talking to Christina Chris of Kaleido, who I'm really big fans of. Talking about their No Really I'm Fine EP, how I had that connection with that music. I thought was really cool, very good moment for me. Just to be able to talk to someone whose music really inspired me to kind of do what I've been doing and can keep going too. So I think those are definitely some of my favorite interviews. And Elsie Banks got me on the map, so I'm very grateful for them because they really I was doing my show, but after I got interviewed with them, it kind of legitimized Super Cool Radio more. They're like, this is actually someone to check out. So I would say that those three for sure.
The more I keep thinking about that first interview that you did with Elsie Banks, I'm almost 95% sure that I was sitting on the bus talking to Kevin and Johnny while you were interviewing Aaron. I'm almost positive that I was, because I remember that they had an interview that day. I think I was there during part of it.
You might have been.
I might have been.
I know someone came in and quickly left.
That was me. I think that was me.
And Johnny gave Two-Face Wilson a shout out during the interview because I think you guys started loading in at the end of the interview. So
yeah, we had just gotten there and we were just putting stuff. We were just throwing stuff in, and I was I popped in to say hi to everybody. So see, look at all this.
Yep.
No, that's a super cool flashback.
Super cool flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, comes full circle here.
Yeah.
Radio. And now you're on the 2-year anniversary show. And now I got to think of something cool to do for the 3-year anniversary show. So.
Concert.
Yeah.
Super cool anniversary fest.
I think
that would be super cool.
2022, I think stuff's gonna be more open. I think stuff's gonna be more possible. So, yeah. With some interviews I've been working on, man, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Super cool.
There you have it, folks.
Definitely.
Super cool exclusive right there.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of fun things in the works. I love what I do. It can be stressful at times, but I love doing it. So yeah, you're gonna see more stuff in the works, especially right now. My schedule's a little bit more flexible right now, so a lot of content's gonna be coming out, at least hopefully. Plus the Battle of the Bands be coming up in April, so there'll be 100 bands. Top 20 will be featured on my next radio show, featuring music, and then the winning band will receive an interview. So make sure to check that out in April. I'll have the event and all that posted up second week of April. That's Saturday. So whenever that is, I don't know the day off the top of my head, but be on the lookout for that. And so that's another big thing coming up soon.
Sweet.
Super cool.
And hanging out at Smokestack with me next weekend.
That's right, April 10th.
I'll be there.
Yay, we'll get to see.
I'm not playing, but I'll be there.
That's okay.
He'll show up with beer.
Watch me mess up for 45 minutes.
I'll pretend I didn't see it or hear it.
No, you only mess up for 42. You get 3 minutes right.
Yeah.
Good for one song.
Get to the end of it, that's all.
But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This is the Super Cool Radio 2-year anniversary show. Full panel of guests. You get to hear a lot about what I got going on because this show is all about me anyway. But for Andrew of Hourglass, Bryan of Two-Face Wilson, and Diecast Romance, and of course, Apricity, thanks so much. I'm, of course, Matthew Thomas, and I hope this was very insightful and fun for everyone who tuned in to this 2-year anniversary show.